On day release, demon sub tries not to crease, and Ewok's keeping nice and warm in bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the Candyman is opening another can. Technical difficulties, they're really such a crime. Technical difficulties, they happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. Sometimes they're salty about the gaming biz, and nobody knows who Outworlder is. Technical difficulties, they're really such a crime. Technical difficulties, they happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop 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 time.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the
How
show.
we doing?
Right, let's sort this out for a start. Plinkety plonk. Mute David so I only get one audio feed from him. Right. I don't
I
need to...
was echoing myself, mate.
Yeah, you were dropping out of it as well because I skipped off fucking... I can't wait to get this fixed. So, good evening to all and sundry. Welcome to another Thursday night show. Right, what we're going to... So, first of all, let's shout out in chat what the hell is going on. Turn off studio mode.
Everyone's fucking here already. We've got
Diddle-dee.
Shakos, we've got Darren, we've got Rich D, we've got a German guy called some dude on YouTube. We've got
Who we
my
rarely
other
see.
half, Spam and Egg,
Yeah,
and JJ's Pandy.
good to see you,
And
Tim.
Cheese me.
Good to see you, JJ. Good to see everybody. Hello, Pandy, sir. Paul from Pandyman Entertainment. Check it out. Also, JJ, check out the awesome Scythopian Wars miniatures war game. Yeah. Good evening to one and to all. Good evening to Damon, the bloody Japanese terrain demon. Oh my god, check out last week's stream. He posted yet another amazing godlike bloody creation to Discord again after the show. But yeah, just check out last week's show for an update.
He's just doing it to troll you now at this point.
Oh mate, seriously, fucking. See, actually, now you are here, Damon, you can comment, mate. So, what do you charge for like commission work? And when are you going to get
Where's-
some paint on those? Because Jesus Christ, they look fucking amazing.
Where's my unjamming rod?
So if you're new
a
here,
toy rat.
grab yourself a paintbrush, or something constructive to do, because it's going to be a long 2 hours, I can tell you. We're going to be following our
How many
usual
kidneys
format.
do you have?
Eh?
Is what Damon's just asked how many kidneys you own.
Hang on. 1, 2. The missus has got a couple. She won't miss them.
Oh, you fucking legend. You fucking legend.
So yeah. Yeah, everybody has to be getting on with some hobby. So yeah, this is a hobby live stream. So if you're whatever you're working on, painting, building, just stick it in the chat. Let us know what you're working on.
Don't stick that in the chat.
And
That's
if
degenerate.
you're watching later on YouTube and you can't put it in the chat because you're not here, put it in the comments instead. So yeah, we'll chat about what we're going to be painting or working on while we talk some bollocks. Then we will have a chat about what we got up to our Monday night game club, as is our routine. Then we've got basically no fucking news, so we're just going to be padding time and killing
had a
time.
half-hour fucking smorgasbord last week. You've had your fill. Fuck off. You're not getting any this week.
Nothing happened. The world was closed for a week. Okay, just it was like the pandemic. Nothing happened.
Honest, governor.
Look at him. No news. No news. No salt. Don't cheese me. Don't start, mate. Don't set him off. Let's not get premature. I mean, yeah.
Premature saltulation.
You really think that David's not going to be fucking having some salt-induced rant? What are the chances?
The victim of my tirade this week will be Royal Mail. But more on that in a bit.
Yeah, with a garnish, a side order of Warcrate. Fucking hell.
Dressing of War Cradle. Ring. No, there is no ring at the moment. And the main reason there's no ring at the moment is because I finally fucking helped Sam move out and was there till stupid o'clock last night sorting shit out. Wasn't I, darling? Love you.
Cheese me, royal fail, more like. Yep, very prescient of you, Cheese me. And you don't even live in the UK and have to have anything to do with the godforsaken organisation. Oh, God. There's a new 5 Leagues from the Borderlands book coming in September. Oh, is that a campaign supplementy book, Darren? Or a new edition or something? What's going on with that? Put it in the chat. You're not going to pre-order as it's Modifius. Why does that?
The Modifius and pre-orders, it's bad.
Okay. I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, don't. I mean, again, I know they're currently doing Hard War.
Yes.
But thank fuck it's going to Kickstarter because they might actually have some corporate responsibility. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
2 supplements and a bonus game. Fuck me. That's a pretty hefty update there, sir.
Right. War Cradle. We need to have words.
Oh God. All right. Look at him. He's so keen.
Come on down. Come on down.
Keen. Hang on.
Come on.
Hang on.
Come on.
Studio mode. Content display. Let's have. That's mine. That is Le David's. Go on then.
What the fuck is this? Why does my kit not fit together properly? Might have something to do with the fact that you finally sent me the sprue, but it's 3 years late. Fuck's sake. What am I going to do with this cunt?
Oh,
the back
shit.
wall doesn't fit either.
So that's a pretty hefty gap. What the fuck? How can that be that far off, mate? What?
Just war cradle doing war cradle things.
But it's got a
You know-
line. Do the aligning
Yeah,
tabs?
I know. There's alignment tabs. I know. There's also the fact that this is nice and true and aligned and everything as well. But if we go to align this, our survey says this is like half a hole out. So we're going to take some drastic action, boys and girls. Where's my knife?
Why? How? How? Have you checked your angles? That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
You haven't got them the wrong way round, have you?
Nope.
Because those slots look like they're offset.
Cannot.
Oh no, because it's got the stairs. Okay, yeah, okay, fair. That can't be wrong.
And this is built and this is cut and true. And look, boys and girls, it's true. It's at 90 degrees.
Okay. It just doesn't fit. We've said it before. I'm afraid they're kits. Well, no prizes for guessing what you're going to be doing tonight, then.
Yeah, swear it. MDF can't swell half a hole, mate.
Also, MDF can swell. Fucking, I don't know about the MDF swelling. Fucking David's getting a massive rage boner for his fucking anger.
The drastic thing is, right, yeah, this has taken me longer than building 3 of the other kits.
Do you want to tell everybody about your experience with Raw Mail as well?
Oh, let's go for a
Let's
Royal Mail
get it
rant.
all out the fucking way.
I got an email, what was it? Last Thursday? Whilst I was streaming, actually, saying, We've sorted out your problem, Mr. Smith. We're going to dispatch you the replacement sprue that you're missing. So I was like, oh, lovely, when I saw that on Friday morning. Week later, fucker hasn't turned up. So I'm like, what's going on? Where is it? So I sent him a handy-dandy email earlier today. Lucy, the customer service lady that I've been speaking with, goes, yeah, it was delivered last Friday. Here's proof of delivery. Literally just, here's your tracking number. So I log on to Royal Fail's website to check my tracking number, and it doesn't fucking work. So I log on a few hours later, find out that Royal Fail have just yeeted it by the back door of my house, and it's sat outside in the baking sun for over a week. That's why it doesn't fit, isn't it? It's dehydrated too much.
I was gonna, maybe
it had been yeeted against my back door, and I hadn't noticed it because I haven't been out in the back garden this week. But the best thing is, right, Royal Fail delivered to my house the day before and delivered all of the fucking Wasteland Warfare shit. And left me a lovely little note to say it's by your back door. 24 hours later, oh no, fuck you, you're gonna have to find this parcel. But why did War Cradle not send me a fucking tracking number, for starters, so I wouldn't have to bitch and moan and ask where the fuck it is? Secondly, why are Royal Mail fucking useless? Wait a minute, I've answered my own question.
That was rhetorical, that question.
Thirdly, the entirety of what was on the sprue, boys and girls, hold on to your socks. Because you're not going to believe what was on this sprue.
I should have his little window filling up with like this heap of salt.
This and the back wall that I was missing.
So there you go.
Shock horror that it wasn't packed properly.
Oh dear. Still, I bet you feel good about the fact that you spotted only the 2 pieces that were missing, and they were the only 2 pieces on the sprue, surely.
Yeah. Again, refer to every other ranty week where, why the fuck aren't you etching numbers? Why the fuck? Where is it? I had it, and I've yeeted it somewhere. Why the fuck is this your coding system, boys and girls?
It makes sense to them, doesn't it?
Makes sense to know. Well, Wild West Exodus, I guess.
Yeah.
Fuck knows.
What's the
SH0035? Maybe the kit number?
sheet?
GB...
Sheet 35G. Could it be?
Brown 1 for the code. Well, I know it's brown. I can look at it, dipshit.
Cheeseby says burn 1.
I would burn it, but I spent too much money. Right, anyway,
what
I
else?
need to get this cat...
So not only that, guys, but he finally gets the pieces to build his kit. Admittedly, it's not going to go together because they don't fit. But what else did you say? He just... Go on.
What else did I say?
You said, don't even colour match.
Oh, yeah, they don't. It's really hard to show that, though. Let me find... Bear with me.
Oh,
Let me move.
So funny.
This, boys and girls, is what arrived today.
Yep.
That's what's arrived previously. So it's a shade lighter. Fuck it! Oh no! Shall we go to the best thing?
Oh.
I've just gone to get the instructions off online. Server doesn't work. Fuck you! You're not having your instructions.
Oh my god. Fucking. Do you know what? I'm glad that you've had a wonderful experience with them. Will you be going back?
No, no. I will never, ever be buying more War Cradle terrain unless it's been pre-built for me. So some other cunt will have gone through all of this shit.
Oops. Oh dear. Yeah.
And it's a shame because it's bloody good terrain.
Yeah. That's Cheeseby says, I bet that sprue is from the new version. It's had a complete redesign, which is why none of the fucking tabs fit. And it's got like a 3mm triangular gap against the back wall. Oh dear. This was War Cradle Scenics, mate. Part of the Wayland group. Cheesemy. So, yeah. The pre-coloured MDF does look fancy in the pictures, but their quality control and design needs a lot.
Look at it this way. We spoke about it before when I got ranty.
Yeah.
2/3 of the time, when you buy a big box kit, you're not getting what you asked for.
Oh fuck! David goes for the gut punch. David, can I talk to you about scratch building?
No, Damon, you may not talk to me about scratch building because I'm currently trying to make a floor fit.
Oh my god, that was brilliant! Fucking
so now it's
brilliant.
Completely lost structural integrity on one side. Let's hope for the best.
That's fucking excellent. Well done.
Right.
Oh, that's the funniest thing. Yeah. It's right. Are you done griping and moaning? Is that going to take you all night? Is that literally all you're doing tonight?
Yeah, I've got to finish it off, but I've got to make it up as I go along because I haven't got any instructions. So it's going to take me longer than I thought it would.
Do you want me to see if I can download them and send you them?
If you can fucking download them and send them to me, I'm going to lose my shit. You're actively going to see me.
Do you know what?
Lose my shit.
This is almost worth trying, isn't it? Live on the internet. Oh, David melts down. Let's see it. Let's see how we get on here. Hopefully he won't die when I.
You just got to make sure that you don't go away from my screen. Just make sure that you go back to main scene first.
Let's do War Cradle Scenics then.
Go back to main scene.
Scenic.
Nobody wants to see my dirty fucking.
So what was the kit called?
Red Oak Saloon, I believe.
Red Oak Saloon. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. See what you did there. Yeah. Red Oak Saloon. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Download the assembly guide.
Click on it, and then I'll get a bad server request.
Hang on a minute.
If you don't get a bad server request, I'm going to lose my shit.
Right, okay, everybody. It's thank you for coming along. So where do you need it to be? Can you?
Discord, please.
Fucking hell! Oh mate, you just can't get the staff, can you? Really, you just can't get the staff. Awesome job. Well done,
hang on, look, right. Just to prove to you boys and girls at home that I'm not lying, right? Here's my screen, right?
Yeah.
Red Oak thing. We'll refresh the web page. We'll make sure she's all up to date. Download assembly guide. It's going to work. No, there we go. No, there we go. We have bad requests. Your browser sent a request that this server could not understand. Might have something to do with the fact it's shite.
Mate, I tell you what, you have definitely been you have been IP logged by Warcradle and are now being trolled. That's fucking brilliant. Right.
David is now banned from Warcradle. They've got a restraining order and everything, Tim.
That's so fucking funny. So hang on a minute. Right, everybody. Let's go back to the main scene because we've seen enough of David's chaotic desk. So we need to somehow get this PDF to you.
Discord, problem solved.
Yeah, I've got to save it. It's currently opening a browser, though. I've actually got to save the file to my fucking computer first. I don't want to print it.
Is this the awkward moment, right? Because I can come away from my desk cam now.
Yeah.
Can I get it on my phone? Let's have a look.
Well, I say, if you can't, it's not a problem. I will just send you it. Why the fuck can I not save this PDF? What the fuck? I don't want to print it. Save it. Of course, that's the save symbol I've always seen. A fucking folder with a plus symbol in the corner. Jesus fucking H Christ. Oh, I bet. Sorry, your audio's gone. Stop.
I have been banned.
Sorry?
Boys and girls, it appears you joke. It doesn't currently work on my mobile device either.
You've been IP logged, mate. Right, okay. Upload a file to personal messages. We have the power to sort this out. It's something we can do. Here you go. Assembly guide.
Why does this feel like pirating now?
What a free file.
Fucking Blackbeard bearding the shit out of this.
Oh dear.
Because Warcradle have gone, no more terrain for David. Fuck you.
That's fucking brilliant. This is awesome. Right, so check your Discord personal messages. If I've done it right, you should have had a download of the PDF.
One file.
Literally everybody in chat is just going to download the file just to piss you off.
I know, right?
That is so fucking funny.
They have no need.
Well
they
done,
have
guys.
Zero need
right,
for the Red Oak terrain set.
Okay, so let's studio mode again. Content display. Swap this over.
Fucking
Jesus Christ! I've only cancel. I don't want to reload the bloody website. I've only got 26% on my phone, so I'll make this quick. Billy-doo. 3, 2, 1. You're back in the room.
Daddy Warcradle said no.
Tonight I'm gonna basically be working on my Arkham Horror location connector things. So we're just running some old gold. I think it's old gold. Yes. Model color old gold. We're just running this over the raised areas of these very baroque looking cruciform shapes and double-headed arrows that we've got here. So a nice mindless little job that I can get finished. I will show off to everybody. I got my some Frostgrave minis painted the other night. I didn't have these ready, sadly, for our Monday game, but I've managed to get some paint on them now. So these are the petrified men from North Star. The sort of like zombies encrusted in calcified stone. They've come up a treat. Just need to get the snow basing finished on those.
To be fair, no snow basing.
Oh yeah, I am gonna snow base them. Snow base them. Yep, I am. Well, because petrified men appear in lots of other scenarios, mate. They're not just unique to that.
They're not in the bog.
Yeah. Well, I'm not having a set with snow and a set not with snow. That's getting fucking ridiculous. Right. Let's go back to the main. Let's go back to the main scene. Then I can get rid of my mobile before the battery dies. That's that done. So yeah, nice easy job for tonight, lads. Yeah. So what club? Should we talk to them about what we did at club?
Well, you just gave the game away, dipshit.
Yeah, I know. Well, obviously, but we can still show them the detail. Where are we? There.
No, they've got to just have happy little accidents and make it up as they go along.
What, like normal then? Here you go.
Yeah.
So, at club on Monday, we played scenario 1 of the Wildwoods campaign for Frostgrave. And I know what you're thinking.
Was it good?
You're thinking, hang on a minute, Frostgrave? What? Yes. So the Wildwoods campaign basically allows you to play in different terrain types. So you've got swamp or bog, mountain, forest. I can't remember if there's a fourth. But anyway, the idea is that where the glacier has melted away from the city of Felstadt, you go out adventuring in the wildlands around the city that have had a lot longer to sort of like, you know, melt the snow. Now it would be nice, because again, this is a conversation we had. Do we do some snow terrain and some non-snow terrain mixed, so that it's like cold but not fully frozen sort of thing? And yeah, Thor, Tim, you got it.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, you should have fucking done that, because it was fucking bitter on Monday night while we were playing this game, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, what did it? Did it drop down to 29? Was it 28? Fucking idiot.
No, I'm on about in-game. Remember the bullshit effect we had to roll for every turn?
That is true, yes. Yeah, the game environment didn't exactly mirror the look we'd gone for, but I'll get to that. So obviously we used the mausoleum, the sinking mausoleum, which was the Evening Taros, which was the centerpiece of the game up there, top center. I 3D printed and made that, and I think I discussed whether I was gonna put removable snow on it. In the end, I just decided, let's fucking go like no snow. The only snow is on the bases of the miniatures for our war bands. And I'm still in two minds. A little bit of snow really does remind you that you're playing Frostgrave, but it's about.
But that's only because Joseph McCullough's conditioned you like a fucking dog to know that every time you're playing on a snowy table, you're playing Frostgrave.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's all about keeping your terrain versatile, isn't it? And I think you can box yourself in too much. But I was happy with the look of the table. We've got the swamp sheets was something that we got made by a guy who does scratch built terrain for our club. I can't remember his name, but he did us a great couple of sets. He did us some frozen hills, and he did these swamps. But again, that whole terrain set was, I think, 100 quid, something like that. And maybe some postage
and there's
on
a
top.
resin pour in it, isn't
Yeah,
there?
well, I don't know if they're resin pours or whether he's just used thick gloss varnish to create the water effect for like the marsh pools. But I mean, they're again probably difficult to tell, but they're not flat. Those have got some three-dimensionality to them. We've got all the flock came pre-applied, the grasses, the tufts, the flowers. They were literally the finished article for 100 quid, which is pretty cool. And then I think the sort of like the small ruiny pieces are an old Games Workshop kit. Somebody who knows more about the GW terrain sets would probably be able to ID that. With a bit of flock stuck on them, but it's all stuff from our gaming club. And we used the fucking Colombian marching powder, that's it. We used the inclement weather rules from the fucking Wild Woods expansion, and basically, in summary, what you do is you roll a d20 at the start of the game, and then it fixes like a weather for the table. 1 to 11 on a d20 is no effect. David had to roll a fucking 19, which was basically, was it blizzard? No, it wasn't blizzard conditions. It was just,
that's the only way it could have got worse.
yeah, like essentially it was freezing cold, so literally every model was basically trying not to die of hypothermia every time it activated. And it made the fucking scenario brutally hard, considering, I mean, again, we ended up playing basically fully co-op because otherwise, and we still got our asses handed to us. My wizard and apprentice both got taken out.
You haven't told them the best thing about Alan. Alan, my wizard, that's been renamed.
Well, you so my wizard and apprentice tried to escape the board and basically just got taken out by the fucking wandering monsters. Because again, some idiot.
We couldn't roll for shit on the wandering monster table, so we had 3 snow trolls and a giant worm.
Yeah, it's sort of like, David, roll as a monster. Oh, sorry, it's another snow troll. Okay, that's good. That's the 3rd one this turn. Awesome. Now roll as another. Oh, sorry, giant worm. Fucking
you rolled giant worm, dipshit. Anyway,
did I? It's just fucking ridiculous. Anyway, but yeah, so your wizard didn't even escape the center of the table, did he?
No, he ran into that little gap where that miniature is basically stood in this picture,
just above the red plastic bolt action pin marker.
I ran into the middle of there, right at the end, and I was getting gimped by, what was it, 2 petrified men and a ranger fur?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
So at the end of my activation, just before I got into combat, I carved a big runic
explosive rune?
X on the floor. Explosive rune, yeah. Spell wouldn't have gone off if I hadn't have self-harmed for 4 to get it going,
so basically
leaving me on 1 health.
For those who haven't played Frostgrave, when your wizard attempts to cast a spell, if he botches it, you can literally inflict damage on yourself equal to the amount that you need to get on the roll. So, like, I don't think David had a single spell cast attempt that he didn't basically have to commit seppuku.
No, there was a couple that I did all right with.
Every time I'll cast this spell, I just need to cut my left ear off like Van Gogh. Anyway, so you were completely surrounded. You basically put a landmine on the floor, and then everything blew up, didn't it?
Creatures wandered in.
So,
the best thing is you lost XP if you killed Rangifer models.
Yeah.
You gained XP if you killed petrified men. Guess what my explosive rune did, boys and girls? Didn't kill the 2 petrified men that were in combat with me. Oh no. Killed the Rangifer though.
Fuck you know. So, there was...
It was genuinely one of the funniest scenarios we've ever played, isn't it?
I will take that as a compliment, Cheese Me. I can't remember. Is it? Did I say Van Gogh? Is it Go?
No, you said Van Gogh.
Van Gogh. Yeah. Well, that was more by fluke than skill, mate. Because I speak less than rudimentary Dutch, as in fucking none. I know I live in South Holland, but it's just a name.
That's where the similarities end.
Yeah. Oh dear. Snow trolls would be easy. Some trolls would be difficult. Is that? I don't get that joke, Toros. That's gone over my head. Yeah, that's what I said, Tim. Blood magic. I thought we were playing fucking Game of Thrones at 1 minute. Fucking Miri Mazdur there. Fucking trying to slash his Vadgo. Yeah, fucking is so funny. But yeah, great game. Again, for all these bitching and moaning, how many treasure chests did you get off the table?
3.
I tell you what, all he did was fucking whine the whole game about, these wagon rules are stupid. Still got 3 treasure chests, didn't you whining bastard? I was lucky to get off with 1.
It's not our fault you decided to go chin to chin with a fucking giant worm.
Well, no, to be fair, it wasn't a decision I had made for myself. It just fucking threw itself at me, didn't it?
It just went raw.
Fucking, oh yeah, I'll eat this little dog. Oh, fuck.
It literally fucking did one-shot your wizard, though, didn't it?
Fucking hell. Yeah, I mean, yeah. A Frostgrave will Frostgrave. It all came out in the wash, though. I had 1 casualty. My trapper got killed, so I've got to rehire him. Did you have any deaths, or was it just injuries?
No, I had no deaths.
No, okay. So, but yeah, very good. We're looking forward to Mission 2, which I am currently working on. We've got the Mission 2 is a sort of Aztec style stepped pyramid, which you can probably just about see there. I need to print the 3rd tier for this. So this, I think the board terrain type is forest. So basically it's like the Moon of Endor, where it's just trees, 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 and the only gap is this. And the monsters are basically various types of big cats. So we've got phase cats, snow leopards, and a giant saber-toothed cat. Plus whatever shit wanders onto the board, which the way David rolls dice will probably be like a frost giant and a fucking army of the undead. It'll look like fucking Evil Dead 3, the game. So yeah, that's what we got up to Monday. Frostgrave, great fun. As Frostgrave always is. I tell you what, mate, the more I think about it, I think that we should switch to having a deck of cards for random creature rolls. I think we've talked about it before, but I need to get my finger out and create some proxy cards for a deck. Using photos of my models, because it'll allow us, instead of having to proxy monsters as much as we do, we can just literally put a card in the deck for the creatures we've got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, slight issue there, Paul, when we're playing with like 2 giant worms.
Well, yeah, okay. I can see that potentially that might be a problem, but we can always just put one card in for Worm and like put more skeleton cards in or something a little bit easier. Obviously, as we get a bigger monster collection, it'll eventually work out as sort of the same as the Wandering Monster tables, won't it? The only other advantage I figure of having a deck of cards is if we want to avoid duplicates, it will just give us more variety for the monsters.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. I like the chaos of fucking 4 snow trolls.
Okay. If you think it, as I say, I just wanted to put it up there because it's something that has bugged me a little bit about the game. The fact that you can build as big a monster collection as you like, but if the random rolls go really badly, it's like, I don't have a third frost giant. What the fuck? It's like, don't be silly. And particularly those big deadly monsters. Once you've rolled one, you're never killing the fucking thing. So it's never going away, is it? It's just wiping out your entire warband. It's just a case of
War
time.
Cradle.
Now what? Oh dear.
Fucking railings are cut wrong. Of course they are. Because why would they be correct?
Yeah, that's another way of doing it. Yeah, that's another way. Darren says he created custom tables to take out monsters he didn't have, or just roll again if he runs out of a particular type of monster. That's another way of doing it, Darren. It's just that it isn't really difficult to create card proxies. It's like I've created little cards for each of my soldier types. Let me go and get them. They're only in the hall.
I will admit, they were pretty good. Right, we're just using super glue, boys and girls, because this is going to be a fucking nightmare. I'm gonna have so many regrets in a minute. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right. Do that. Right.
So I'm back. So like anybody who's... Actually, I'll have to get in my desk camera again because you guys can see this. As somebody who's played far too many card games for far too many years, one of the things you end up with is a shit ton of spare commons and junk. And obviously deck sleeves. So studio mode, content display, Paul's desktop.
Oh, fuck off.
Yep.
There we go.
What the hell? Just reset. That's it. Right, okay. So if I show you guys this. So what I did was, these are some just some adventure Dungeons and Dragons style card sleeves that I've had for years from some game that I used to play. And what I did was, you basically just take the sleeve, put, I think I've got a spare Lord of the Rings Middle-earth collectible card game. Just put a spare common in there. And then I just knocked up these on a spreadsheet and printed them off with photographs of my actual miniatures here, so that I can now tell that this miniature is a crossbowman. Because again, the beauty of this is, like, I can take this miniature that's armed with a crossbow and any sort of crossbow model in the collection with lightish armor, I can just say, oh, he's that this time, and just print him a new card. The only other thing I do need now is some dry wipe, some quite fine tip dry wipes, so that I can write things here. Because the problem is I've only got really fat, chunky markers, and as soon as you try and write anything, it covers half the card. But these were relatively easy to knock up, and my idea was to do a similar thing for the monsters, because that's the other thing we find. I think we've both commented on it. Now that we've got such a big collection of books for Frostgrave, there is a lot of page flipping, isn't there, mate?
Yes.
So,
and again, the fact that like strong is a core rule.
yeah.
But he hasn't repeated it in Wildwoods, and I totally get why. But when you're looking at playing a Wildwoods campaign and you've got the Wildwoods animal table open in front of you, it's like, why the fuck haven't you just repeated the types that are?
I think
on,
that
in
might.
The core game.
That artwork, I think is that Jeff Easley? I think it might be Jeff Easley, Darren. Whether it was one of the Dragonlance art pieces, I don't know. Oh, Gary Elmore. Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, this is, and again, like David said, obviously, if I did a card for like the Petrified Men, I could have a little picture of my Petrified Man here, his basic stat line, and then like David said, I can have strong +2 damage, undead, ignores control and mind effects or whatever, will effects. So yeah, it does. I was right the first time. Not. Yeah. Larry, is it Larry Elmore? Larry Elmore? Yeah. So, yeah. So, as I say, my idea, it may have value, maybe a stupid idea, but I thought, do you know what? Because again, shuffle up your monster deck. No rolling multiple d20s for column 1 and column 2. Just shuffle up the deck. Top card. What monster have we just summoned? You can customize the deck to scenarios. Customize the deck to
player level.
Player level, and what your miniature collection is. You know, if you've got a ton of armored zombies, just print 2 or 3 armored zombie cards. If you have got a frost giant, stick the fucker in. Again, you could even modify it for scenarios. So, like, one of the things that might be annoying is if you're playing the worm hunt scenario and then you generate a worm. Sort of takes the impact out of the scenario, doesn't it? Whereas if you could customize your deck and just take that card out.
Yeah, but why did nobody tell the snow trolls that on on Monday?
Because you were just going mad with the old dice. Spreadsheets aren't that scary, Cheeseby. But yeah. I tell you another great source of cards, board games that get updates. I've got about 150 fucking cards from Mythic Battles Pantheon that were all upgraded when they did a 1.5 edition that I could use as well as sleeve fillers, just to pad out. So yeah, Frostgrave, bloody good game. If you haven't, try it.
Good game.
Great hobby inspiration. The base
kinda links to tonight's topic, really.
It does. And I'm sure, to be fair, we will mention Frostgrave in the context of tonight's
repeatedly
topic. For multiple reasons, to be fair. Just, I haven't got anything to show, but I will comment, because I noticed, I think you guys were talking about it in the chat right at the top of the show. Mel, the terrain tutor, who once had a very active YouTube channel with all sorts of hints and tips for scratch building original terrain, Damon, bless him, he's one of those people who's had a history of mental health problems, and his YouTube career's been on and off and on and off. But for those of you who don't know, he has just posted another video saying he's back again. He's back again.
Oh.
So if you like Mel's content and like supporting Mel, go and check his channel out and keep your eyes peeled for his content. I want him to. I hope he gets back into the swing of making videos, because I do like Mel's videos. He's still done, in my opinion, some of the best videos out there for things like snow terrain, trench, scratch building trench terrain. He does great
Don't get me wrong, he's a lovely guy. It's just this yo-yoing at the moment has completely driven me off doing or finding or seeking any of his content.
Yeah, I totally get it. It is difficult when somebody's on and then off and then on and then off. Like I say,
oh, fucking Jesus!
What we won't get overexcited, but I wish him all the best, and I hope that this time it sticks and he gets a good run of content out there and starts to get back into his groove. Basically enjoying it. You know, I mean, obviously...
I'm going to scream.
Oh, God. David and I have both said, I think, that... I mean, admittedly, what we're doing is way less work than scripted, edited content like Mel does. But we've said before, there are some weeks when I'm like, oh, do I really want to stream? I've had a horrible day at work. I'm absolutely knackered. Like now, the weather's horribly close and sweaty. I'd rather be in a cool shower or sipping a cold beer. But
that's not an image everybody at home needed.
Well, until we get a Patreon, you're gonna get that imagery for free, you fuckers.
That's for only paints, Paul.
Only. But yeah, do you know what? It's like, as low as I've felt or tired or whatever, when we do the streams, I always feel lifted by the experience. You know, I can probably count. We've been doing this for over 3 years now, I think, and I can count on the fingers of one hand where I felt emotionally worse when I finished the stream compared to when I began it. Just interacting with you guys in the chat, they're over that side, Paul, and interacting with David and having a laugh and chatting shit. I've always found
it gets better.
Go on.
The bar doesn't fit. I've had to cut the bar
fucking hell. Change the fucking record.
No, I will not change the fucking tune. This is ridiculous.
Fucking hell.
No, I'm not going to change the tune. It's fucking... This is disgusting for a...
Do you know what?
A premium kit.
Are you finished?
No, I'm not.
Are you finished, Captain Negativity? Stop fucking...
I'm not.
Cheeseme's finding you amusing. Don't encourage him, Cheeseme. Fucking hell. Do you know what, Toros? I'm not. I think you might be right for all sorts of reason. It's a 3-year-old premium kit with a modern replacement. Oh my god! Way to push his buttons.
Look.
Fucking hell.
Don't trigger me.
Anyway, Toros said, actually had something intelligent to say. Toros says, I do wonder if the days of people building lots of scratch-built terrain are over. Night, Darren. David's experience down below in this camera shot here, notwithstanding, I think the quality of like manufactured terrain that requires just a little bit of assembly and painting is getting so good. The quality of the STLs that you can get for free or next to free, literally a couple of quid. I was looking at a website that David sent me. What was it called, mate?
Wow Buildings.
Wow Buildings,
like
yeah.
That.
And it's basically STLs for their STL packs for things like European shops for World War II. They've got some Vietnam style town buildings for building Hanoi and that sort of thing.
Post-apocalypse.
Most of the model packs are between 5 and 15 quid for the really big STL packs. But they're great. Do you know what I mean?
Full on, you know, the ruined airport from Fallout New Vegas, boys and girls, those that played Fallout New Vegas. Oh, I'm going to make every fucker feel old in a minute, but we'll come to that in a second. That was 15 quid, and that was really good. So on the upside of making people feel old, Fallout New Vegas, people have played it, people have enjoyed it, people like it. It's one of the best Fallout games there is, isn't it, Paul?
I don't know, because it's the only one I've ever played.
Oh my god. But anyway, boys and girls, did you know, think at this point it's 15 years old. I feel very old.
Fucking 15, fucking schoolboy numbers.
I remember coming back from school and playing that shit though, Paul. That's the problem.
Mate, I'm 54. You're not old.
Yeah, but no, but I feel old.
Oh god.
The game makes me feel old. Oh, War Cradle, why?
I remember when Wolfenstein 3D came out, Cheesy. I played that so much on my shitty old CX386 at uni.
Oh yeah, I've got super glue down the front of the building.
I don't know how old you are, Cheesy, and I don't know if they had it in Holland, but I can remember Elite on the BBC Micro, the game that could not be made.
Is that Elite Dangerous?
No, well, is that Elite Dangerous? No, it's Elite, the game that pre-leated Ahmed Lieben, the game that preceded Elite Dangerous by what, 20 plus years? and was in fact the inspiration for Elite Dangerous.
Right, hopefully.
Night, Pandy.
That'll set up now and not cause me any issues.
But coming back to Toros's point, the terrain is getting good. I'll tell you the other thing, because I'll tell you something else, right? I'm pretty much not into... Shut up. I'm not into scratch building terrain like I used to be. But I tell you what, Damon has inspired the absolute fuck out of me with that project on OTT. Well, he's not even a project, just the pictures he's posted in that Discord. And I tell you what, if he'd have filmed it as a video, I would probably be buying fucking wooden dowels from B&Q, hardboard, you know, sculptor mold right now. Because I tell you what, to see, when you can see what people can produce, certainly if they make a video and show you that with a bit of experience and practice, it is actually as easier than you either remember or think. That's another contributing factor Because I mean, who does scratch built terrain except for Black Magic Craft now?
Benji's done some
Does he?
Fallout stuff. Yeah, he's
Has
done
he?
the Fallout 3 trench table.
What? And that's just scratch built out of like foam core and shit.
XPS foam and shit like that.
See, that was the other thing that Mel was really inspirational for. You know, like Mel's video when he does all the different options for making fields, using different floor materials and that sort of thing. When you see people doing it, oh my god, fucking Tim,
Dirty old man, dirty old man.
That's the best bit of you gone, Tim. Yeah. So, although I think you're correct that scratch building is going to be a dying art because of the nature of the war games market now, I do think it's sad, and I think a couple of inspirational figures with big YouTube channels could really change that.
Right, I'm making this kit up as I go along because I built the bar how they want me to build the bar. There's no room to put the fucking pub behind it, the shelving. So the punters have now got open access to that in the foyer.
You must have done it wrong.
I haven't done it wrong. I haven't done it wrong. I'm keying things in where they should be keyed in. Refer to earlier statements.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Now I've got to put a no sign on. Where does the no sign go? The no sign goes on the front, apparently.
I'm getting far too relaxed here. This fucking gold paint is going everywhere except where I want it.
It's like a fucking furnace. It's too fucking hot.
It is wham. I'll give you that. How are we doing for time? Look at that. Spot on.
It's spot on time, mate.
Should we talk about tonight's topic? Or should we get into that? Do I really... Question for everybody. Do I really want to touch up the bits where I've gone off the raised areas? Or these are board game accessories, Paul? Get yourself a fucking grip. What do we think? Yeah.
You're going to get irritated by it.
Probably the latter. Yeah. No, I think I'm going to survive by just letting it slide. So here we go, letting it slide, not worrying.
You're going off piste, sir.
Yep. I'm leaving the scruffy painting. I'm not obsessing. As Cheese Me's just said, it's time versus resources. To be fair, Cheese Me, that is the thing that always... That's what drives me to buy terrain. Minimum effort terrain. It's just time is the one thing that you run out of fastest. Time is more important than money, I think. Even when you don't have much money, it's shockingly scary how little fucking time you have to do the things you enjoy. Does anybody else feel that?
No, it's just old curmudgeon syndrome.
Miserable tosser. Right, so what was our topic tonight?
I thought we were going to build some worlds.
No, we're not going to do that because it'll ruin our games.
But Paul,
So, should we just let's start by talking where this one came from. So, David and I think this is true, over the last few months have been turning towards games where there's like a lot of lore or narrative elements there's a lot to build an immersive world with. So
look at Malifaux and the Breachside broadcast that I was raving about the other day.
This
boys
one's
and girls.
particular to you, isn't it? Because that's really caught your attention, and actually, despite it's almost made you break your New Year's resolution, hasn't it? Because it's got you that excited.
I don't know how I managed to come back from Games Expo without some Malifaux secreted away.
Because you got fantastic self-control, mate. That's why.
What? And I didn't buy new games like you bought RuneQuest.
Shut up!
Hey! There's a door right there, and you just walk into it.
That's true, Cheese Me. That is true. But, so, I mean, for example, World War II. The thing that has been getting me excited about Bolt Action is the campaign books. Because again, I don't have a lot of back history with World War II. I know the broad strokes, but like I didn't know till I started reading the campaign book, watching stuff on YouTube, looking into stuff in the same way that I knew fuck all about the fall of Singapore and the Malaya campaign. I didn't know anything about the Pacific Islands shit. And there are still like huge sections that I don't know anything about, like the bit that precedes Saipan. I don't know. Because again, there's quite a lot of military, and then there's obviously fucking what was the big naval battle?
Midway. Coral Island.
Yeah, there's still so much to it.
No, Cheese Me.
And because the thing about the worlds that have got like the super expansive narrative with it doesn't matter how much you read or learn, there's more to read and learn. Say for example, I mean, to talk about a game system that neither of us basically engage with anymore, pardon my pig, 40k, that's one thing that Games Workshop can say they have done. The amount of lore and canon that they have built for 40k is colossal, isn't it? I mean, I don't think
excessive, because you've got what, 25, 30 books from the Black Library.
Oh, I mean, do we think, are we running into we must be multiple hundreds, maybe not thousands yet, of Black Library novels written about the 40k universe. I mean, Jesus Christ, there's well over 100 just Horus Heresy books, let alone every other aspect of the fucking 41st millennium. So even after you finished reading all of the Forge World campaign books and the lore sections of the rule books and the lore sections of the codices, there's still an entire fucking there's
library,
animated stories off bloody Warhammer TV or whatever the fuck it's called, that stupid subscription thing, which people can watch if they want. So, Games Workshop have done a good job building that. And from my point of view, the one thing I will say about really huge, almost bottomless sort of stories is that they fuel the hobby side of the game, of what we do, for me, a lot. So, like...
the thing is, though, right? I know what you're saying, but there's a bit of a problem here for me, right? The problem I have is because there's so much lore and there's so much invested in it, it becomes similar to the historical and the rivet counter argument. you're going to have somebody crop up and say you're doing it wrong. Ultramarines never fought Blood Angels or fucking countless other bits and pieces. Do you know what? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
and that's sort of where the cover art from tonight's stream came from.
That's where we were going for
Germans
with the thumbnail.
Germans versus Russians. So the Germans and Russians never met, never had an engagement in World War II. How many times have you played? Not Germans. Germans versus Japanese. Sorry, you know what I meant.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is like when I have a Japanese early war army. Ricky has late war Germans. And bolt action is designed in such a way that you can play those battles with a war game sort of like feel, and they work as games, but they're way less engaging than if you're doing a scripted campaign or a scripted mission from a campaign with special rules and force restrictions and that sort of thing. But again, though, it's like David said, if there wasn't the backstory and the narrative if it wasn't there for you to use in a positive sense, it also wouldn't be there as a barrier for you to just do what you like without thinking, this is a little bit odd. This feels a little bit immersion breaking.
The problem we'll come to with Papa GW, because we'll kick him while he's down. Space Marines. Each of the founding 9 chapters have their own rules and their own spice, shall we say. Salamanders are very flamey. Raven Guard are very stealthy. If you want to play with those rules in like a tourney setting, etc.
Oh, Toros, you should get a sweep. Oh dear.
It doesn't really give you much merit to invent your own chapter, paint your own chapter, play and fuck around with your own rules.
I tell you, and that. Yeah, that is definitely a thing. I can remember back in the early days of 40k, there was much more incentive because basically all Space Marines were the same. All you had to do was paint them a different colour and make up a little bit of a story. And it did not matter. Now we have got to the point where we have created a custom... Everyone's got custom model ranges, custom rules. That's even if I could muster the enthusiasm for 40k, would I be interested in creating a custom chapter now? No, because why would I? I'd be at a distinct disadvantage unless I was playing one of the fucking, troped chapters. JJ makes an excellent point, and I want to explore that because I don't really know where he's going.
Can we explore JJ's point in a second?
Oh, okay.
And the reason I say let's explore it in a second is take the other thing that was on our show opening picture. 1-page rules. It's a game with 0 lore, 0 setting, other than it's a bit grim, it's a bit dark, and it mirrors 40k, but nothing quite feels like it's 40K.
Having said that, OPR are creating more for their game.
Yes, but the point I'm trying to get at here, you've got sort of 2 extremes of the spectrum, and this is why I said we'll come to JJ's comment in a minute, because I think JJ's comment where it's at and where it sits well. So you've got the OPR approach where there's very little effort given to story, details, anything like that. They just give you a framework to play games. You have the other end of the spectrum where you have over 1,000 books and fucking animated TV shows and that kind of thing for Warhammer 40k. Yes.
Yeah.
What JJ's saying is actually you want to be somewhere in the middle, where you have some lore that excites people or a setting that excites people, and you give people the threads to weave their own garments and story to make it yours and put yourself in it, as he said.
Okay.
So that's where I think JJ's going with this. It's more that middle of the road approach of you want to, JJ being a game designer, you want to put some effort into your game. You want to put some effort into doing stuff. And again, it's something we're currently struggling with our dev work, isn't it?
Yeah,
that
it is.
We've sort of come up to this roadblock of we've got the game, we've got the mechanics, we've got the setting, but we're not hugely sold on the setting. But we don't want to just give people that. We want to give people like some reasoning to be playing the games and fighting and doing what they're doing with our game dev work.
That's the thing that we're struggling with, or I'm struggling with, I don't know about you, is the motivation factor. So like,
yeah.
Why
are we here doing what we're doing?
With Frostgrave, it's like, well, why are my guys doing this? They're just hunting for treasure. That's the motivation. Dead easy. Everybody gets it. You're just looking for shiny new toys. Grab the toys and go. It's such a simple proposition. So JJ says bolt action as an example. You said you don't know the stories of the war, but you know the aesthetic. Okay, mate. So that's what you would call setting, I guess. So it's like the big picture. And I to sort of like say, so like for example, so some of the best JJ again, some of the best world building ever is reference. I always rave about the Blade Runner speech where it gives you these breadcrumbs to follow and your imagination does the rest. Right, okay, yeah. I mean, again, this is why Frostgrave for me is a game I always keep coming back to when I'm sort of having this conversation with myself, where in the core book, it's shocking how little you are given by Joseph. I think it's 3/4 of a page, which basically explains what is Fellstadt, what happened to Fellstadt, and why is everybody going back to Fellstadt. And it's literally, I don't know, probably 200, 300 words.
I mean, there's Carnivale similar. Carnivale has like 4 or 5 pages.
Yes.
Doesn't it? Explaining the fact that there's this rent in the sky, this magical rift that's opened up over the shores just besides Venice. That's why Venice has become this sort of hub for all over the world, and the Rashar and the Guild and that kind of thing. And they're fighting over it. Because I didn't quite realise until I'd read the lore properly that the rent that gets referenced constantly of opening up all of this magic and everything else actually runs down like the is it the Balkan coast?
I don't know.
Croatia, mate. Serbia, and that kind of stuff. So it's not actually directly above Venice.
It's bigger,
but it's close. It's close. Yeah, and it is like 300, 400 miles long.
I mean, also to be fair, have you read much of Blood on the Water?
That's my main source book.
Okay,
you know what
so
I mean?
because obviously in the main Carnivale rulebook there is like a potted history of each of the factions. Isn't there? It's about 2 sides. Two sides, maybe a bit more.
About side and a half usually, isn't it? Because they got some artwork at the bottom.
And like, if you buy the supplement book, Blood on the Water, you've got tons more stories about sort of like politics within the factions, sub-factions, stories about like the doctors fighting the vampires and loads of other stuff, but actually you don't need any of it. For me,
No, you don't need it to play. It doesn't. It gives
Carnivale
you.
feels engaging with just the bit that they give you, in the same way that Frostgrave, now when you buy all the supplement, like you buy the campaign supplements like the Maze of Malkor, the Red King's Quest, or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
Perilous Dark, you each of those
Fireheart.
has got Thor of the Lich King. Each of those supplements has got a little story in it. It's got special missions, but none of that is required to fill out the world of Frostgrave to make the core game fun.
Well, again,
and here's
look at the polar opposite of the end of the spectrum, right? Gaslands, game we both love and adore, has very little other than post-apocalypse, fighting for your life, get to Mars because Mars has been terraformed. It's your ticket off this planet. Win a death race, go to Mars. That is literally the premise of the game summed up there, and it's not much longer in Mike Hutchinson's book itself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't need it. The game plays and feels the way it does because you've got that sort of actually, I'm going to nab from Snarling Badger here, because Snarling Badger recently did a podcast on what they call their guiding principles of game design. If you haven't checked it out, go give it a listen. The Snarlcast. They usually come up with like 5 to 10 words, couple of short sentences at the top of their like game design when they're doing their brief.
They call it their mission statement or something.
Yeah, the mission statement or the guiding principles, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's literally, if it doesn't fit in those 5 words, doesn't make it into the game. So you, like, I think he described Rain in Hell or whatever it was, the demon fighting game that they have, as brutal, demonic combat. And that was literally what guided them through the entire thing.
Yeah.
There's not a huge amount of world building and stuff behind that, but again, Gaslands does that in a nutshell. Of this is what you're doing. Here's a little bit of backstory to it.
Yeah.
Go, run with it, do what you want.
And
again, I think that this is one of the things with game design, and it's what I'm looking forward to with Fallout as well, with this world building and immersing yourself within the world. So Fallout on the computer is obviously very much an RPG. Pick your own path, do what you want, etc. There's a load of hooks and baits and traps set out for you throughout the game, but you pick what you want to do what you want on the PC game. And whilst it isn't necessarily fully the same with Wasteland Warfare, because there's some scenarios scattered across all of their paper books, and there's a couple of ways to do like procedurally generate a vault or the Wasteland, and they're updating it for 2nd edition to do that more. It's the story and the development behind it, but knowing where it's set and getting the feel right. Do you know what I mean? Building that terrain, that table, that post-apocalypse, growing and developing and just eking out an existence on the gaming table is very much mirrors the PC game itself.
Yeah. So here's a question, right? Sorry, JJ says you get good games with no world building, good world building and bad games. Cough GW, but I think you get both. That's the gold standard, even. Yeah, that's and Toros says a lot of fantasy. The best backgrounds are based on some period in human history. Do you know what, Toros? To basically say you, sir, are on my wavelength. I still insist that the best D&D campaign world that was ever created by TSR was what they called their Mystara world, where the nations were based loosely on tropes or stereotypes from her own world. So like the Grand Duchy of Karameikos is essentially Balkans, Europe, late Middle Ages. And I find this way more engaging for role playing than something like Dragonlance or Forgotten Realms. I did at the time and I still do now. But I was thinking, right, here's an interesting thing, because David is spot on. I enjoyed 3 or 4 games of Gaslands before I even thought to look about why am I doing this? Do you mean just tear-assing around with the cars, trying to blow shit up and, you know, race my opponent was enough fun without me needing to know why I'm doing it. Now you contrast that with bolt action. Now that I have sampled campaign play, now that I have started to immerse myself in that aspect of the historical war gaming, where you're not recreating battles, but you're bringing more to the table than just a collection of models.
Yeah.
Having done that, it actively makes me enjoy throw-down casual bolt action less. Does that make sense? And I'm not sure in my own head why that is that way. What is it about the fact that because again, if Mantic's Firefight, which is their 40k imitation, is a way better rule system. There is a lore and there is faction stories and there is a background, but I can play the game system and enjoy it for what it is, and I don't feel it's inferior to 40k because it doesn't have a ton of lore.
Yeah.
The game is still good.
Yeah.
But why is it with something like bolt action that one aspect, this knowing the stories of the war and that things were the way they were, why does that break my immersion so hard and make me feel so dissatisfied with a generic game?
Can I say it's because you're autistic?
I knew it'd be me.
No, but genuinely, because again, you're not even doing deep dives into certain like VC award winning events and that kind of stuff.
But I could.
No, I know
Scary.
you could. But this is my point. This is what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? You're not diving, scraping that barrel. You're just playing it. And I tell you, part of the reason why I think you might be getting more out of campaign play and bolt action than core bolt action. I think it has nothing to do with the world building and the game breaking. I think it's a very minor thing of, oh, look, I can build a very flavorful US Marine Corps list or a Japanese list, etc.
Yeah.
I think more you are liking the asymmetry and the puzzle that brings to the table.
That is such a good shout.
The world building itself.
That is such a good shout.
The reason I say it is because look at Frostgrave, look at Carnivale. Some of the Carnivale scenarios are very asymmetric, and they're some of the best scenarios that we've had. Like that game where me, you, and Sam played, and Sam bought like 50 points, I bought 50 points, you bought 100.
Yeah.
The asymmetry we had there, I know it was only an intro game, but of you having more shit, etc., on the table and that kind of thing, you liked that. I think Gaslands, again, we very much play with the factions, the
yes,
like Rutherford,
true.
Miyazaki. Idris, Maxine, etc.
And
playing with some of those factions is like playing with one hand behind your back.
well, the other
Yes,
thing
those
is not only
factions
do we
are.
use the factions, but we lean hard into the list building, don't we?
Well, this is what I was literally just about to say.
Yeah.
Yes, the world building links intrinsically to your list building and your faction choice because it's set up in the lore and the history.
Yeah.
But you don't have to build a Maxine list with 2 buggies, for example. You can do other bits and pieces. You don't always have to bring a tank if you bring in Rutherford, etc.
Yeah.
It's the fact that making those choices and leaning hard into the faction brings a completely different like again, look at you breaking Rutherford.
Do you know what? I'd never even thought. Do you know what? That is such an insight that actually the narrative as JJ would call it, which is like the fact that might be a backstory for this mission and it's based on these events around this town in 1942 or whatever. But that and actually I've sort of like got distracted with that. But what I was actually getting excited by was, like you say, the fact that instead of being line up in front of each other and go for generic objective A, all of these missions have quite specific puzzles and problems built into them by design. That is such an insight. Fucking hell.
Because again, look at here's one we didn't even mention this in the fucking pre-show, right? Infinity global campaigns.
Yep.
They are designed and built in such a way that they affect the story of the universe. They do build on last year's campaign and intrinsically add it into the story, add it into the lore, add it into the universe, etc.
Yep.
But they are very, as Damon's just said, meat grindery. Doesn't matter whether I'm playing Yujing, Pano, who I'm fucking facing. I'm just fighting in this global campaign to add and build the world story and keep this objective in this location for my faction because we fucking need it.
Yeah, although there's a meta story, it doesn't affect the missions particularly, does it?
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's very superficial, dressed on the surface with, yes, there's all the world building and everything that's gone into the background and why the Pano are the way they are, why the JSA have split off from Yujing and that kind of thing. But it doesn't come down to individual games. But you like Infinity for its asymmetry and the fact that you can have one model do the entire game.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably more your angle.
Not also, is there a factor here that the game's rule system is so fucking good that it doesn't need to lean on its narrative elements?
Well, again,
the narrative elements are great for collecting and painting your army, but the actual game.
Well, again, or laying out your table in the case of bolt action like that. Toros has just hit it on the head here.
Yeah.
Ricky last week knew that he was going to lose that game because the the Germans were pushing across the bridge.
Yeah.
Not bridge, across the river, making a bridgehead, etc. To invade Stalingrad. History happened how history happened. Yeah. Ricky knew that the game was going to not be in his favor, particularly when the Russians are bringing twice as many points as the Russians.
Yeah, he was outnumbered 2-1. He didn't have the forest cover of the Germans. The only advantage he had was basically to make their river crossing as hard as possible. And like you say, he called it at the beginning, well, this is not winnable for the Russians. And he's probably right, but it's not the point. The point, like Toros said, was to do the best he could. And like he lasted until turn 6 before he was wiped out. He literally ran the clock almost down before he got eaten alive. and that's what that sort of mission is about, isn't it?
Yeah, because again, and this is something that again I don't think we ever touched on or discussed this in pre-show. World building doesn't necessarily have to just be lore. We've mentioned Gaslands already and that kind of thing. It can be a look and a feel of the models and the game and the play style.
I was just going to mention this, yeah.
Doesn't just have to be set in stone that faction X does this and faction Y does that. It can be, well, everything's kind of the same, a la Infinity, but it's the look and the feel of the models of what set the scene and what set the factions apart. A doctor in Hackislam is very similar to a doctor in Yu Jing. It's just that one's in Arab gear, the other's in like anime power armor and shit.
To be fair, though, no, because Hackislam doctors, not only can they bring more doctors in their army lists, but they generally have higher willpower, and they might even have Doctor Plus skills. So there are definite differences, but in the same way that the thing is, the differences are very slight. It's like, what's that faction that Luke wants to play? The guys...
Nomads.
The Nomads.
Where
so
it's a shit ton of hackers living on a spaceship.
Now, everybody gets hackers. Even my shitty JSA gets some quite bad hackers. But they're not as good as Luke's hackers. But at the same time... See, again, I get what you're saying, because with Infinity, for example, you can't build an all-hacker list, because what if your opponent brings a load of chumps who have nothing to hack? It's like, that didn't work. So you want every army in Infinity ends up being a bit of a toolbox. You know, you need a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of the other, shake it all together. It's real combined arms shit, you know.
Yeah.
And you could say, oh well, every army feels the same, but again, it's designed in such a way that they just get away with it. Get away with it.
Can I just chip in here? Flames of War. Yes, it's another World War II game, but the scale it's at, the fact that it's mainly vehicle focused, and that's at that 15mm scale, it makes you feel more zoomed out and more as like a section commander.
Yeah.
Ordering
Which is what the rule set's designed to do, isn't it?
And again, that's what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? It leans heavily into what it wants to be, which is a historical game, but with section command, combined arms with planes and vehicles and troops and that kind of thing, versus bolt action, which when you bring tanks, look at last week's stream, boys and girls, it breaks the game and it slows it all down and it's not as good.
Before, didn't you have a game with Ricky where Ricky made a comment about artillery in Flames of War felt wrong or didn't?
You're getting Ricky and Rich confused.
Oh yeah, Rich. It was Rich, wasn't it? Yeah, that's it. So what was that?
Rich's point with Flames of War and artillery. I have 3 Sherman Calipes that bring out the salvo template. The salvo template is a 10 by 10 square. I cannot place it within certain range of my own troops, obviously, because we're just bombing the shit out of that area. The artillery template is slightly smaller. It's a little 6 by 6, I think, from memory, square. So it's a little bit smaller. Rich's point is, I can have 3 Calliope tanks, i.e. my squad is at full strength, or full strength when I bought it. I can range in on the first attempt, but I can only hit basically one thing, so I'm rolling 1 dice, even though 3 tanks are firing off their entire fucking salvo of rockets.
Okay.
Hitting the space.
So even though you've got 3 models, you only roll a single dice.
And on the flip side, if I've got 1 model shooting, I only roll a single dice. If there's a load of troops under that template and I can get like 10 bases, I'm rolling 10 dice.
Okay.
Doesn't matter whether it's at 1 or at 3, I'm rolling equal to what I can get under the template.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
It doesn't feel amazing if you're looking at it that way round, but it's as I sort of justified to Rich was, well, actually, artillery is doing what it's designed to do.
Yes.
Area denial, fucking up lightly armored targets, lightly armored troops.
Night, Tim.
There's no real point throwing it against high fucking armor panthers and that kind of thing.
No.
The only difference, and again, Alex brings 6 Nobleworthers, which again get salvo template and everything else. The only way Flames of War works is if you have 1 or 2 models in the squad, you re-roll all successful hit rolls. So it's even less accurate when you go down models.
Yeah, so as your infantry gets damaged. No, as your artillery rather gets
as your
damaged.
artillery get damaged, you re-roll hit rolls.
Yeah, okay.
Then the other way is if you take a big squad like Alex does of 6, you re-roll all failed misses and make them more lethal.
Okay. And so was Rich's Rich's argument that the artillery rules didn't they sort of broke his immersion on artillery?
Yeah, they don't. It doesn't really feel like artillery.
Okay.
It doesn't really feel like a massive rocket battery trying to blow shit out of a area of French village, for example.
Right.
But then this is like when I was saying about my point of, well, actually, it really does, because you're using it as an area denial tool. You ranged in on a certain point, that marker's kept there.
Yeah.
You're stopping people going for that objective and that kind of thing.
Yeah, because effectively you're indiscriminately striking an area. The more the enemy puts in that area, the more you get out of it. So that it's the job of the enemy to stay out of it. The reason I asked about that was because one of the things that has come up for me, and I don't know about anybody in chat whether you've got experience with the one-page rule systems. One of the guys, particularly at the club, Alex, that we've sort of like tried to tease in with one-page rules. Immediately, his pushback was Unit X doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it does in 40k.
Yeah.
And this is sort of like, again, I think this is an example of when the law breaks your immersion in the game setting. Because Alex has played so much 40k, because he's immersed himself and steeped himself in 40k, as soon as he takes that model and puts it in a different setting with a different rule set, immediately he's like, oh no, that doesn't work, no.
Yeah. I mean, Ricky at club's got a similar thing about like snipers.
Oh,
snipers in game.
That's a great example.
Not actually working how snipers should have.
Yeah.
Indiscriminately plinking and picking out 1 or 2 targets from each squad per turn.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, that's how IRL snipers would work. And pinning a unit indoors so that they're not going to go anywhere because they're taking sniper fire.
Yeah, I mean,
not really much of a game there then.
No.
When somebody brings a very small squad that's hard to hit and taking plinking shots, removing officers, removing heavy weapons teams, removing bazooka teams because they can.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've discussed it on the stream before that obviously in modern warfare, snipers are a nightmare for infantry because often from what I've never served, but from what I've seen, actually, in modern warfare, if you get confronted with a dug-in sniper, you'll probably be sending in some sort of airstrike to take out the area because you've got no idea or chance of finding him and
Again,
stopping
you
him.
pick up you pick up
Unless
your
he's
artillery
counter
team and
sniped.
you pick up your artillery team and your artillery team's
Yeah.
going to indiscriminately blow craters into
Yeah.
a Afghan hillside
Yeah,
until
it's just like
Mr. Afghan sniper disappears.
yeah, you just say to the A10, just dust it, everything, level it, because we can't find him and he's killing us one at a time, and we're not moving until he's dead. But again, yeah, I totally get it. Again, it's an example of where, because Ricky did serve, he comes into the game with the baggage of what he knows about snipers, and immediately it's like, oh no, this is a bit gamified for me.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's another game recently that I've played that I've been like, ooh, do you know what I mean? To be fair, probably Malifaux. Malifaux's just this weird hodgepodge of a lot of different models with a lot of different keywords, procking off different cards in your deck and that kind of thing.
What's got you really excited about the Malifaux lore? Is it the characters?
What's got me excited about the Malifaux lore is the backstory for the master I'm picking.
Okay, so you've really just honed in on one thing.
The fact that she was a gardener for the guild, was dating the guild master's son. The guild master ordered an assassination on her. A guy botched it up, fucked it up, killed the guild master's son. So she's got a lost lover that she summons back as a spirit, which is just fucking chef's kiss beautiful. And the fact that she herself didn't realize that she had these powers from making the transition into Malifaux, because as you go through the breach, it tends to awaken in magical abilities. The models are really nice anyway, but the fact that she spent like 3 weeks basically murdering anyone and everyone that was involved with the murder of her lover, and she didn't even realize she was doing it. That's what sort of hooked me on the backstory.
So it's specific story in a way.
That specific story, that specific arc. Again, the other one that I was looking at was, what's her name? She has the doves. It's going to bother me. The mechanical doves. Performs at the Staff Theatre.
Pass, mate. I don't really know a lot about the Malifaux lore. Nowhere near as much as you. Because again, great example. I've enjoyed the game for years and never really been that arsed with the lore. I haven't needed it to get me engaged. The game has done it all on its own.
Colette de Bois. There we go.
Colette de Bois.
So Colette de Bois excited me more because of the models.
Hello, Shakos.
And this idea of this stage performer that's got these animated doves and a load of beautiful dancing girls and wanting to paint their petticoats, etc. Really got me excited for her. And in the lore, she's okay. She's not amazing. She's what she is. She's a high-level arcanist with a lot of magical ability. She bamps around the battlefield, fucking people around and fucking people up and over. But it's exactly that. There's no real mystery or mystique to her. She always knew she had these powers. She's quite high up within the Arcanist Guild itself. Because she's a stage performer, she's a little bit pretentious and up her own arse, etc. At least that's how it comes across in the stories and the lore. That I'm like, yeah, the models are really nice, and if I ever get a second faction, I might end up going for them. But I wanted to do something completely different that I've never done before in a game, which is Summoner, i.e., being able to bring what I want when I want it and I need it.
Yeah.
So that immediately thinned my selections out and my choices out.
Yeah.
And it's like the guild summoner. Oh, a load of guild lackeys. Well, no, that can fuck off. The Arcanist summoner is a load of elementals. Yeah, they're nice, but I don't really vibe with the models.
Yep.
The Neverborn, which is the Dreamer, is another alternative. But the Dreamer is okay. He has one of the most beautiful models in the game, Lord Chompy Bits.
Yeah.
With all of the lore and the story that goes into him, and the fact that it's basically a 12-year-old kid that's just summoning nightmarish creatures to fuck up your day is quite cool. But it just the models themselves don't vibe with me the same way as a load of Japanese demons.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's something we've talked about before. You're very you're very model focused, aren't you?
Yes.
I think JJ's got it right. I think you need to have, because again, one of the guys.
There needs to be
tonight,
enough,
JJ.
Well, there needs to be enough world building that there's a story or some baited hooks that players can latch onto.
Yeah, what JJ called your setting and your aesthetic.
Yeah. And this is the one thing I will say. You need enough of them to hook different people. Like, Paul will hook based on story and mechanics, but mainly mechanics.
Yeah.
I hook based on story and aesthetic. I don't really care about the mechanics. I just want shit that looks cool. Other people will latch because of the entire vibe of the world. Like Wild West Exodus for me, it was very much it's a little bit of alternative, steampunky, Victoriana. It's very similar to Malifaux, really, in that aesthetic. The only difference being it is very much set in the American West in the 1800s and not in an alternative reality and world this on the other side of a magical breach.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, that's what's getting me excited for Fallout, is the building my own stories, role-playing, because, again, I love the Fallout franchise. Look at the fucking several bits of Fallout merch I have scattered around my room. Love the Fallout franchise. Loved Fallout 3. Fallout New Vegas is the best game ever. Fallout 4 was okay. But the aesthetic in 4 was fucking amazing. The colours and the vibrancy and the balance just really spoke to me. Like, Fallout 3 was a bit too dark. Yeah, Fallout 3 was a bit dark. It was all a bit brown. It was all a bit black.
Yeah.
New Vegas, very much Mojave, Colorado wasteland. So it's all a little bit rusty and that, but there is splashes of colour. Fallout 4 is Boston, Massachusetts. So you have like green areas, you have leaves falling off the forest. You have the downtown built up metropolis where it's all skyscrapers and very narrow streets. You have some of the old world bleeding through, so shit from the American Civil War and the churches and the buildings that were first built when the British first set up Boston. All of that sort of comes together and culminates into this sort of beautiful visual experience.
I'll have to try.
The story's not the story's not amazing. It's like, oh look, my son's been kidnapped. Spoilers for anyone that's not played Fallout 4.
Thing is, this is an example though where, again, you're highlighting the fact that I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're highlighting the fact that you're getting excited to immerse yourself in the Fallout game because of the computer games, because of the lore, because of the amount of shit that's out there for this franchise.
And being able to build it. And again, this is the biggest thing for me with the Fallout game.
Yep.
Yes, the Fallout computer games are good, but a developer has taken time to craft and build those storylines, to craft and build the different endings for the game depending upon which factions you align with throughout all of the games.
Yeah.
And you then replay the game to get the alternative endings.
Yeah.
Fallout Wasteland Warfare, Fallout Factions is very much focused on you carving your own path,
right,
making your own story within that world that I know and I love.
Which is really what a war game needs to do, because I suppose you could do it with a campaign book potentially, where you uncover somebody else's story, like the Red King campaign, where we sort of like look to stop the Red King.
Well, again, even just take the Red King away, and the fact that we just play Frostgrave the way we play Frostgrave.
Yeah.
So we just play a series of link scenarios, whether they be from campaigns, core game, whatever. We rock up, roll randomly, play the game, earn some treasure, fuck off.
Yeah.
There is a development cycle. There is a arc there. But I don't know about you. I don't necessarily feel as connected, as involved, as invested. And I think some of that has to do with the mechanics, because it's a bit swingy, and the back and forth with the dice and everything being able to kill everything else. So you can't get overly invested in surviving. And two, whilst there is some thread and some story there, all we know is Felstad was covered by a glacier because of this apocalyptic event. It's now thawing. Go get treasure. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Yes, there are different campaigns where we can play in the old Wizards Conclave, or we can go into the breeding pits and the sewers and the city and play that scenario. So I can pick and choose and craft, but they've all been pre-crafted for me. And the actual leveling up mechanic or the development mechanic between games is very light in Frostgrave. And it's one thing that it's exceptionally good at, is how light the bookkeeping and the campaign system is, of roll some d20s after the game, apply some level ups, look at what treasure you've got, apply what treasure you've got to what models you want it to go on to, rock up, play your next game. It's not intricate levels of map bookkeeping and fucking documenting all of that shit, because I think if it did that, I'd be turned off by the game.
Yeah. I'll be honest, it's one of those things that I think why I'm less keen on things like 5 parsecs or 5 leagues, because I think that might get a little bit too bookkeepy. Having said that, I've never played them, but
no, I do want to do a 5 parsecs at some point as well, and just do the whole open-ended RPG. But there is a lot of bookkeeping.
The thing
there
is
a
well,
lot of bookkeeping, even just for setting up a campaign for 5 parsecs.
Here's the other thing.
I've done it twice, and it's not got any quicker.
Isn't it always going to be a bit more exciting to recreate a world that somebody's already given flesh to? So, like, because this one of the other strengths of these heavy lore IP driven games,
Well,
So
again,
like,
it's like you mentioned, leaning on Mystara and leaning on
yeah,
the different factions within Mystara. Somebody's already done the skeleton work for you.
yeah,
You are fleshing the bones out.
yeah. And that's what I'm wondering if that's the same for wargaming. It's like, because while it's like I really, really want to paint more of my collection of Aliens versus Predator miniatures, not even in the anticipation that the Hunt Begins war game rule set by Prodos is any good. I just want to do it because it's AVP. And this playing in somebody else's sandbox just has a quality all of its own, doesn't it?
Well, the thing is, right? Look at it with the Lego style approach. You've got all of the bits in front of you that you want. You've got the minis, you've got the rules, you've got the game, and again, even just looking at AVP rules, there's 3 different systems for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can pick and choose and build what you want to play your game.
Yeah.
But you're always leaning back and always referring back to the AVP movies.
Yes.
So
That's what's giving me.
You've got the outline or the foundations of your structure, and you've got your Lego building blocks to build your structure with. Whereas something like 5 Parsecs or 5 Leagues from the Borderlands or that kind of stuff, you have all the building blocks in front of you, but you don't really have any foundations. You don't have any hard and fast choices or narrative or framework to build within.
Yeah.
It's up to you to make that as a player.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, isn't it? The IP driven games, if the thing that they're coming from is a movie, novel, or computer game, like you say, not only do you, like with a movie, you get the visual aesthetic, so immediately you know what it's supposed to look like in your head, but you also have somebody's told you a story in that place, presented you characters from that place, and all of that makes it easier for you when you
Well,
want to immerse yourself in your toy soldier game.
I'm going to chip in with the very last flying parting shot before I go.
Yeah.
The Assassin's Creed board game by Triton Noir, even though the miniatures are beautiful and it's set in the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood universe that we both fucking love, we both adore Assassin's Creed.
And
it doesn't play and or feel like Assassin's Creed because of the mechanics of the board game itself. Now, look at Carnivale. Carnivale is the closest we have at the moment to a miniatures war game that plays like Assassin's Creed, and we can lean heavily on that Assassin's Creed Brotherhood aesthetic to then build out Carnivale tables, Carnivale scenarios.
I'm going to push back and say even Carnivale does not play like Assassin's Creed, the computer
No, but
games.
it's the closest that we've got at the moment with the moving and the parkour mechanics and that kind of thing.
The parkour and the movement is better, but the problem with and this is a, do you know what, this is a great one to end on, because this is another case of immersion. I love it. Like you said, we both love Assassin's Creed. We've played basically all of the games, probably both of us. I know I've played everything except Valhalla. And the
I've
new
played
one.
everything except Mirage, which is the new one.
No, the new one's Japanese, isn't it?
No, there's a new one after that as well.
Oh, is
called
there?
Mirage. I haven't played the Japanese or the Mirage one.
But anyway, but the board game doesn't have the right balance of stealth versus confrontation.
Yeah.
And because of the way the stealth system works, which I don't really like, it breaks my engagement with it. Again, because I'm bringing all the baggage from... It's probably a great board game, but there's just something about it that jars with me, probably because I'm over familiar with Assassin's Creed, the game franchise.
I think part of it being Assassin's Creed, even if you fuck up the stealth, there's a way of getting it back, running away, parkouring, doing something within the game.
Yeah, de-escalation is so fucking hard in that game. That is exactly what it is. In the computer game, if you start to get overrun, you bug out and hide until everything calms the fuck down. With the board game, once the alarm flips,
it's very binary.
You've probably got,
it's off.
Unless you draw the town crier card or whatever the fuck it is, you can't calm it down, can you? You can't dig yourself out of a hole.
And again, it's not only just digging yourself out of a hole, it's undoing the fact that now you've got double the amount of enemies spawning and they're fucking swamping you and everything else.
But that's what I mean. Those problems solve themselves if you can just turn the alarm off. It's just so fucking one way. And that's the other thing. It wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't like, what is it? Every time you throw that alarm dice, you've got a 33% chance that it all goes fucking tits up from now. And it's just like, really? Fuck off. It's a shame because it's close. It is very close. But I think we better call it there, mate. Thank you very much for those of you who were here. We hope you enjoyed the show. It's been great. A lot. We talked around the houses and back again tonight. I think
we got there in the end though. We want a middle of the road approach where we've got. It's that Goldilocks, isn't it?
The thing is, JJ's spot on. You want your setting and your narrative. The setting needs to be spot on. So it's what you said. There needs to be enough aesthetic that you can immerse yourself in the world. You can imagine being there. You know why you are there. That's crucial. You know why you're there. You know what you're supposed to be doing. Again, it doesn't take much. Like Snarling Badger said, a couple of paragraphs. Joseph's an expert at it. And then, if you want, you can do the rest of it. So, like the narrative, that can include things like the Frostgrave Warband development, can't it? Developing characters, telling longer stories over multiple game campaigns. That's nice to have, but it's not essential, really, is it? If the first bit is good.
Well, again, Infinity, we've mentioned Malifaux, that kind of thing. They're not necessarily focused as a campaign game. They're very much pick up, throw down, play game, be done with it.
Yeah.
But they still have, as we've discussed, all of the essentials and the background and the building there for you to make educated choices when it comes to selecting your army, make those decisions and that kind of thing. Because the one thing we didn't mention tonight, and I'm going to mention it as a passing shot while we're rounding up, is Moonstone. Miniatures are beautiful. It has some lore and some background, but everything else about the game is just so meh, it's unrescuable.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, I think the game's got potential. It's funny. It's funny because if you look at it from JJ's argument, the miniatures are beautiful. It's got a strong aesthetic.
It's got a story arc and line and
You
development to
know,
it.
you know, you're gathering moonstones because they're weird magic. It's got a
Disappear by
simple
morning.
conceit.
That's why it's so. They'll disappear by morning. That's why the games are only a certain length.
To be fair, do you know what? I think it's a me and you thing because this is when you look at it. It's when you step back and look at it, you can sort of see why it's popular. Maybe it's just you and I have got like a weird attitude towards game mechanics. We've been a bit corrupted from our previous gaming experience. Do you know what I mean?
Possibly, and there's also possibly stream topics on that.
Yeah, there is. Anyway, so we've sort of said your setting needs to be good, but it can't. It can be too good sometimes and too deep, and then it can start to get in its own way. So give us your thoughts in the comments down below. Give us your examples of where games had so much. Well, give us examples of where the breadth and depth of the lore and the world that you were playing in created barriers for you actually playing the games and just enjoying them for what they are. Whether that's, you know, factions that wouldn't be fighting each other, models that didn't feel right. I mean, again, this is another 40k argument. Space Marines don't feel like Space Marines should do in the books. Well, yeah, because it wouldn't be a fucking game, would it? One Ultramarine versus 1500 points worth of orcs. But again, give us your examples in the comments down below. If you can only do one thing tonight, please click the like button. You can do the other YouTubey shit underneath it if you want to, if you think it'll give you value. We need to not forget to thank our comrades over in the chat, the people who help to make the show just as much as we do. And we will see you all for another live stream next week. See you later.
Ciao.
It's another Thursday night. I see Crispin's wearing tights. Spam is getting in the bath. Young David's full of wrath. Paul is tightening his straps. Where on his apron you saps. Technical difficulties. They're really such a crime. Technical difficulties. They happen all the time. It's Yellowbelly Tabletop 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 time. Cheese meat is on day release. Dan still tries not to crease. And Ewoks keeping nice and warm. In bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening up the can. Technical difficulties. They're really such a crime. Technical difficulties. They up tries not to crease, and Ewoks keeping nice and warm in bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening another can. It's Yellowbelly tabletop time. It's Yellowbelly tabletop time. It's Yellowbelly tabletop time. It's Yellowbelly tabletop time. Kismet is on day release. Damn me up tries not to crease, and Ewoks keeping nice and warm in bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening another can.